What's the best response to a Christian saying you're going to hell? Well, a bunch of other religions are equally convinced that they are the ones going to heaven and you are the one going to hell. Most people's religions are based on wherever they're born. To me it seems kind of weird to believe in a God that is going to reward you for being born in the suburbs of the Bible Belt, and condemn another kid to eternal fiery damnation, because they were born in a different country, but whatever. As long as your position on gays, and healthcare, and immigration, and civil rights is love your neighbor, then you're cool with me. Hell, as understood now by modern evangelicals, was invented 1,400 years after the birth of Jesus Christ by the poet Dante. Dante's hell was also clearly used as a personal smear campaign against people who had offended him personally, and also used to praise those that he admired. Considering the previous lack of a fiery hell in the Old Testament where you seem to pull most of your morals from, and the only minor mentions in the New Testament, it is probably safe to say that such a place is unlikely to exist at all. I'd just say Matthew 7, verses 1 and 2. Being a good Christian, they'll obviously know that this is a passage that starts "Judge not, lest ye be judged." Also, as a good Christian, they would thank me for reminding them about their Christian duty and ask for my forgiveness. They would then pray to God to forgive them, and thank Him for placing me on their path, because if they had died with hate in their heart they wouldn't be able to enter the kingdom of heaven. Obviously, as a Christian I hate when people say that. Saying you're going to hell is the opposite of a loving way to bring someone to God. The best way to share the gospel is to tell them and why it's so important and let the seed grow. The person will either let the seed grow or throw it away. Either way we are called to be loving, and condemning them to hell is the opposite of that. Look up Ray Charles from Living Waters do a good way of sharing the gospel. As a Christian, I was taught to love my neighbor, and as Matthew 7 says, remove the log from my eye before pointing out the splinter in another's. We are taught not to judge. Also, hell is not explicitly in the Bible. So, and ask, where in the Bible does it say you're to judge me? Why do you think I'm going to hell? And where in the Bible does it talk about hell? Well, whose hell is that? There are over 4,000 religions in the world, and most will tell you that if you're not a member of their special group then you will go to hell. So is that your hell or their hell that you're talking about? Right now hell is on earth and you come at me with this, get the fuck out of here. Sincerely. No response it isn't worth of one. You're not going to fix them and they're not going to fix you. You should just let it go. Life is too short to spend all your time and mental energy fighting with people over nonsense. Your revenge? They have to live like that, constantly stuck in a cycle of worry and regret. Biblical clapback, Matthew is full of them. Judge not, that you be judged. For with the judgment you pronounce you will be judged, and with the measure you use it will be measured you. Why do you see the speck that is in your brother's eye, but do not notice the log that is in your own eye? Matthew 7, 1-3. There's nothing wrong with a Christian explaining how and why you get to heaven or hell. Because they genuinely think they are giving you a warning sign that might save your life. But if they say you're going to hell, that's not up to them to judge. They don't know your heart the same way God does. The temperature of heaven according to the Bible is at least 525 C by Boltzmann law. The temperature of hell cannot exceed 444 C according to Bible by boiling temperature of brimstone. So even if this imaginary place exists, it's still better than the other imaginary place you think you will be going. I'm an atheist, but I took a religious studies class, so I would say, really? It's my understanding that whatever judgment you pass on others is the judgment God will pass on to you at the gates of heaven. So that's not too good for you. Not really snarky, but should surprise Him. I was created in God's image. As a Christian you should know you cannot judge God's creations. That's a sin, and you should ask not only me, but also God for forgiveness. Yes, my grandmother did not like me after this. But she didn't like me before, so fuck that old bag of vomit, to quote Alan Watts. Hell is always much better than heaven. Although it's uncomfortable, it's a sadomasochistic orgy. Wow, you know? Hell is really rip-roaring, whereas all the saints in heaven are sitting, you know, very, very smug and demure like they were in church. Oh, hun, I'll pray for God's words and wisdom to bless you. Telling them I'll pray for them throws them for a loop and I can run away. Otherwise did you miss the part where Jesus died for everyone's sins, so therefore no one is going to hell? Or, do not judge, or you too will be judged. For in the same way you judge others, you will be judged, and with the measure you use, it will be measured you. Bible verse they won't even recognize it. Which adds to the hilarity of the situation. Christian hell is essentially Vegas, while heaven is essentially Salt Lake City. I'd rather be in Vegas anyway. The only reason hell includes brimstone and torture was a fiction writing called Dante's Inferno. The shit isn't canon, it is fanfic. Paraphrase some version of Matthew 7 to them. Judge not, lest ye be judged. And if they have a smart aleck response to that, follow it up with, why do you notice a speck in your brother's eye and ignore the plank in your own? When I still believed, I'd get told I was going to hell because you're Mormon. I'd respond, oh, I'm not going to hell because I'm Mormon, I'm going for something else. Then, I'd raise an eyebrow and leave the conversation. One person's hell is another person's heaven. My wife heard our gay elderly neighbor use this as his response to a blue hair at bingo. He goes to bingo with my wife every other week. I loved it. That old June is awesome. You ask them if God is perfect. They say yes. You mention that the sun gives us cancer, God is fake and hell doesn't exist. Then you can inform them they no longer need to waste a day a week reading nonsense. Thou hypocrite! First cast out the beam out of thine own eye and then shalt thou see clearly to cast out the mote out of thy brother's eye. Matthew 7:5. Very important to use the Old English for extra sparkle, sparkles. Romans 2:2. You, therefore, have no excuse, you who pass judgment on someone else, for at whatever point you judge another, you are condemning yourself, because you who pass judgment do the same things. Don't talk to Christians about religion unless you've prepared ahead of time. You can't brainwash someone. Treat them like you would any crazy person, disengaging as quickly as possible. Aren't we all going to hell anyway? There is more than one religion that says you are going to hell if you don't believe. I highly doubt they are a member of all of those religions. That's where all the cool people are. Or as I read here on Reddit, do you know what's scarier than the thought of hell? The thought of how badly you want it to be true. There are no gods, no devils, no angels, no heaven or hell. There is only our natural world. Religion is but myth and superstition that hardens hearts and enslaves minds. Alternate response. Well, thank fuck for that. I didn't sacrifice all those Christian babies and eat their still beating hearts just to play a fucking harp on a cloud. Do not judge, or you too will be judged. Matthew chapter 7 verse 1. Now fuck off. It's literally in their Bible telling them only God can make that decision. Over 30 biblical admonitions against judging others. They should prepare a thoughtful response for the day their God asks why they ignored so many warnings. I'm a wheelchair user. So I point out that it's a highway to hell, which is wheelchair accessible, as opposed to a stairway to heaven, which is not. Provided it was another woman saying that to me, I'd just do what Lady Gaga Harley Quinn did, kiss them and say now you're coming with me, smiley face. I always say, going for the temperature, staying for the company, all my friends will be there and probably you as well. See you soon. Treat them as an idiot and move on from there, as their opinions have no value to me. I live in an area with very few of those, though. Oh? So you make that decision now? You are God? Last I checked, false gods go to hell, so maybe you are the one going to hell. I know. I scored a great deal with Lucy on a sweet place on the lake shore. He lets me be as sexy as I am now for it. Doesn't our Father prayer say something akin to judge us as we judge others? So, you'll be right there with me, pal. Michigan is nice this time of year. Or, already went, it was kinda boring. Hell is a very tiny town in Michigan. Last I checked, that judgment belongs to Jesus, plus I've seen how you tips say your judgment means less than nothing. I don't believe in fairy tales like Santa or Jesus. You are just meat, I am just meat. When you die you are dead. Never wish bad upon everyone, we are all brothers and sister. Proceed to say I love you and good bless you. You can tell them you're a Jehovah's Witness, so no thanks. That would probably stir them up even more. Lol. I have committed every sin in the book at least 10 times. If I'm going there, I'm going as a legend. Christians are not supposed to judge anyone. Jesus will do that. He or she are still weak in the word. Judge not, that ye be not judged. For with what measure ye mete, it shall be meted again unto you. If it gives you comfort to believe that, go ahead. But that says far more about you than it does me. So you assume to know God's mind? That's pride, a mortal sin. Looks like you're coming with me. I have lived around Christians my entire life and never once been told that I was going to hell. I don't believe in God, the devil or the Easter Bunny, and you think you can scare me with hell? What a sorry fella. Rolled up and smoked like a Panatella. Here on level 1 of robot hell. If God's forsaken me, I suppose I shouldn't be making enemies with my future host. Hail Satan! See ya there, I'll bring the chocolate and graham crackers. You grab the marshmallows, rock on gesture, devilish face, rock on gesture. How? Since the concept of souls is proven fiction, Post-demise, ain't nobody going nowhere. Sorry, I don't like Bible bashing. Now cock bashing on the other hand. Oh, they left many gods, many religions, some older, will we be in Roman Catholic hell, Protestant hell? Oh good. For a second there I was afraid I'd be stuck with the invisible sky monster. I'll send you a postcard selfie depending on the age of the Christian in question. As a Christian, tell them that's not your decision or something along those lines. If I'm going to hell, I'm fucking all the demons, devilish face, WTF you do? Look up and pray. Where do you think I come from? It's a rattlesnake Jake line, I'm not that edgy. My usual will be something like K. Or Ni. I can't stand those people. Still haven't figured out that judge not, lest ye be judged thing yet, eh? Well, you know what they say, heaven for the climate, hell for the company. Hell is bullshit. A loving God would never torture his creations for eternity. There is no hell and there is no heaven waiting for you. Think your life over. I thought I already was in one, seeing the Satan standing right in front of me. If you want to throw the Bible back at them. Judge not, lest ye be judged. Yes, I know. They've reserved a place for me, and that place is a throne. If any Christian says that to you, they got their own problems to figure out. I would just blast Rina Sawayama's Hell song and try to make them dance. Hell's not real. I'm no more worried than if you told me Santa was mad at me. If it keeps you and your Bible away from me, I'm looking forward to it. The best response to any insult is to not care and go about your life. Judge not lest ye be judged, bitch. You're more likely going to hell. If that's what it takes to get me out of this conversation, I'm down.